Breaking news in regards to whether or not Vladimir Putin is a dictator, McCarthy disagrees with Trump. Calling Putin an authoritarian, according to the ex-president, is simple-minded. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who has walked a fine line between alienating Donald Trump and being seen as catering to the former president, publicly disagreed with him Thursday on whether Russian leader Vladimir Putin is a dictator. But in a dictator-style move, the Russian leader arrested a U.S. journalist the night before. McCarthy's remarks came after Trump, in an online video posted late Wednesday, criticized what he called simple-minded criticisms of Putin and Russia, arguing that Russia and the Russian people deserved more respect from U.S. leaders. Trump directed much of his criticism at Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, an opponent in the Republican primary. Earlier this month, DeSantis said the United States shouldn't get further entangled in the conflict between Ukraine and Russia, calling it a territorial dispute. After being criticized for being too lenient toward Russia, the governor fired back in an interview with British journalist Piers Morgan, calling Putin, basically a gas station with a bunch of nuclear weapons. Trump did not seem to agree with that assessment. Simplistic thinking like, calling Russia a gas station with a bunch of nuclear weapons, or, calling Putin, quote, an authoritarian gas station attendant with some legacy of nuclear weapons from the old Soviet Union, is what he said led to decades of failed diplomacy and ultimately war. Even though Trump has repeatedly defended the Russian leader, most notably in 2017 when he deflected criticism of Putin's alleged killings of political opponents by asking, "You think our country's so innocent?" Trump said of Putin that his refusal to use the term authoritarian runs counter to bipartisan consensus and international opinion. Fundamentally, it shows a lack of depth, a lack of seriousness, and a lack of sophistication on the subtleties and complexities of foreign policy. There are some things you simply cannot do and be at peace. Several lawmakers said at a press conference Thursday to celebrate the passage of a bill to increase domestic energy production that doing so would weaken authoritarian leaders in Russia and China who profit from their country's oil and gas reserves. HuffPost asked House Speaker Kevin McCarthy how he could square that with Trump's comments, and McCarthy responded, "I haven't seen what you're talking about, but Putin's authoritarian. Xi Jinping, the current president of China, is a dictator. And the way I see things going, I'm very worried. It's like it's 1936 all over again," McCarthy said in an interview with Fox News, referring to Russia's overnight arrest of American reporter Evan Gershkovich on espionage charges. According to the speaker, who was interviewed by Fox, this is a journalist who has a right to do their job, and the journalist's arrest shows how deadly the Russian leader is. What Putin is doing is contrary to the rule of law in every respect, McCarthy said.